Well, good morning, everyone, and thanks for waking up with us here on News Channel 8 on this chilly Thursday morning, 57 degrees in Northwest D.C. And this morning, we are outside of the National Cathedral. And you may have remembered that the National Cathedral underwent some extensive renovations due to the earthquake back 3 years ago in 2011, magnitude 5.8. And, you know, we don't get earthquakes all that often here in this area, but we need to be prepared for earthquakes. So get ready, everyone. It is the Great Southeast Shakeout. Okay, maybe not that cool. But anyways, I do want to bring in our global coordinator for the Shakeout. This is Brian Benthian. Good morning. Thank you for being with us. So tell us about this great Shakeout.
Right, so the Shakeout is a chance for everyone everywhere to practice how to protect themselves during earthquakes, which we call drop, cover, and hold on.
Drop, cover, and hold on. So what are the incentives for the Shakeout? I mean, what are we really trying to make sure people, obviously to protect themselves, but what else are you doing to help protect the public?
You know, it's just really important that people have practiced what to do before an earthquake happens. You're right, earthquakes don't happen that often here, but if they do, you need to know what to do. And if you travel, if someone goes to Puerto Rico, California, the central U.S. where earthquakes can happen, you want to be ready and have practiced previously what to do.
Well, that's all great advice. So again, we're going to drop. We drop. We
cover your head and
our head and neck.
And then if you're under something, you want to try to get under a table and get under it and then hold on to it.
And then
so
we
that
hold.
You're protected from things falling, because you're actually more likely to be injured by the things falling where you are than any type of building damage.
Wonderful. Brian, thank you so much. We're going to have more coming up in our next hour. But Brian, all morning long, I have to say, I've been thinking, do you know the Taylor Swift song, Shake It Off?
Right.
So that's all I've been thinking. Shake it off. Do you know what song I'm talking about, Brian?
I very much know.
You totally know it.
And when you drop, I want you to drop it like it's hot.
Yeah.
Okay?
Of course I'm dropping it like it's hot. It's me,
Drop
Brian.
It like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. Yeah. All right. Let's talk about what's happening out there. Thanks, Eileen.
All right, coming up in the day ahead, we want to turn now to what millions of people all around the country will hopefully be doing, and that is planning to drop, cover, and hold for an annual earthquake drill.
Of course, it's called the Great Shakeout Drill, and our Eileen Whalen is live with a preview at the National Cathedral in Northwest. Eileen, try not to shake on air, because last time it froze your live shot.
Yes, trust me, I know. I learned my lesson, and I'm so sorry, everyone at home, that had to be scarred from my freeze frame as I tried to shake it out. But we will all be shaking it out this morning at 10:16 a.m. And the National Cathedral will be participating this morning in the Great Shakeout because, as you all remembered, 3 years ago when we had the earthquake, the 5.8 magnitude earthquake here in Virginia, and it shook us here in D.C., but it did cause extensive damage to the National Cathedral. So I'm joined now by Jim Shepard, who's the Director of Preservation and Facilities at the National Cathedral. So talk to us about the damage that was done from the earthquake and kind of where you're at now and what you hope to do.
Sure. Well, we are a load-bearing masonry building, and actually we performed quite well in the earthquake because we're still standing.
Yeah.
However, it incurred about $32 million of damage on the building, and we were able to raise about $10 million of that $32 million. So we have work underway, which we're calling our Phase 1 earthquake repairs, and that will get the protective netting on the inside that was put in immediately after the earthquake down, and it will repair the 6 flying buttresses on the east end. But that's pretty much it. And the scaffold you see on our central tower that you can see from a distance is really just stabilization scaffold. So it needs to be sort of put out there that that is not work that's going on. That's really just holding it together until we can raise the remaining $22 million we need to finish all the rest of the work.
And if people want to help donate, I mean, this is, you know, a national treasure. How do people go about making those donations?
If you go onto our website, you can. It's all set up to help support all of the work that we're doing here. So.
Well, it looks wonderful, and of course, we definitely want to preserve the National Cathedral, and thankfully, it is still standing, as you said. But a great day for all of us to make ourselves more aware of what to do in the case of an earthquake. Remember, we are going to drop, cover, and hold. Back inside to you guys.
Now, I get up too late, and sometimes there's nothing on my brain. At least that's what people say. Eileen Whalen is live this morning talking about shaking.
Oh my God, I love this song. And I knew when we were doing the Shakeout that we were going to be singing this song. A little Taylor Swift to get you going this morning. Can we just sit and jam for a little? And you're probably wondering, okay, why is she standing out here shaking it out? Well, we are shaking out today, the National Shakeout happening today. And this morning, we are standing in Northwest DC outside of the National Cathedral. You probably remember 3 years ago, the DC area experienced a 5.8 magnitude earthquake, extensive damage to the cathedral. But it is that time of year we are going to be preparing for the possibility of an earthquake. It doesn't happen all that often here, we know, but still, we want to be prepared. So I am joined by the Southeast Regional Coordinator. This is Brian Blake. So tell us a little bit about the shakeout.
Yeah, sure. So at 10:16 this morning, millions of people throughout the region are going to be dropping, covering, and holding on during the shakeout. And that's the recommended action to take to protect yourself during an earthquake.
Awesome. So so you are specifically with this Southeast shakeout, but what are the different things that you should do to prepare for an earthquake? Obviously, drop, cover, hold, but what else do you advise people to do?
Sure. Before an earthquake happens, the best time to be prepared. So you can get your emergency supply kit together, food, water, emergency or weather radio, those sorts of things. You can also do a family emergency plan or test your notification procedures at your business or your school or wherever you are, and try and be prepared ahead of time is the key.
Yeah, that's all brilliant advice and good things to remember because, of course, we all remember 3 years ago when we felt the shake right here at home. So, Angela Foster, we are shaking it out and having a little bit of fun out here in Northwest DC this morning. But I have to say, behind me, Angela, the cathedral looks so cool with a little bit of the fog. Is the fog out to the west causing any traffic problems?
Not causing any major problems. Now, we do have reduced visibility, of course. And I have to say, Eileen, if our viewers are watching this morning, it's a great way to get your blood pumping, watching you shake it out this morning.
Yes, indeed, guys. Good morning outside the National Cathedral because we all remember back in 2011 the earthquake that rattled the DC metro area. Actually, it was felt from Maine all the way down to Georgia. So it's one of those things that we need to be prepared. Even though we don't get earthquakes all that often here in DC, we still need to be prepared. And one of the partners in this great shakeout is FEMA, and I'm joined by Wendy Phillips this morning with FEMA. So tell us a little bit about FEMA's involvement with the shakeout.
Oh, FEMA supports the Southern California Earthquake Center in their shakeout that they've been doing since 2008. The importance of the shakeout is to get everyone to understand that they have a bit of control to do something to protect their lives, perhaps protect themselves from injury during the quake. And so if everybody will drop, cover, and hold on, that's what we want them to do.
And that's what I've been remembering. So drop, cover, and hold. Now also, we were talking earlier, you were mentioning mitigation. Can you explain that a little bit more?
Well, mitigation, there's two elements of it. There's mitigation, which involves a contractor coming in and making sure that they have seismic codes when they build the structure in the first place. And that could be your residence, it could be your city hall, it could be your church, it could be your hospital, any building. You want to make sure that you take into consideration the building codes that are needed to make that structure safe when an earthquake occurs. Another element is non-structural mitigation. That means something that you can do right now to help protect yourself. And those are easy things. I want you to think about if you're in your bedroom and you have a tall bookcase. If there's an earthquake that occurs and that bookcase were to fall over, heaven forbid we wouldn't want it to fall over on you, but also if you were able to get out of that room, the bookcase fell and you were not able to get out of the building, then you would want to think about strapping that to the wall. And FEMA makes publications that'll teach you how to do that. If you're in your office and you have tall filing cabinets, you have a beautiful bookshelf that is above your desk, that is actually dangerous, and you have to think about what that could do to you during an earthquake.
Well, these are all great tips. So thank you, Wendy, again for joining us this morning with FEMA, and not only earthquake safety, but safety for all different types of disasters. So get prepared as we shake it out, Brian. And all morning long, I have been jamming to my Shake It Off song by Taylor Swift. So we've been having a lot of fun, but it's important. So what are we going to do, Brian? We're going to drop. We're gonna drop. We're gonna cover, and we're gonna hold.
Okay, drop,
Are you
cover,
ready?
and hold.
Have you practiced?
I'm gonna drop, cover, and hold. that right? And shake a little bit while you're at it?
Yeah, we probably wouldn't be laughing in the event of a serious earthquake, but you know us here on News Channel 8, and we like to have a little fun.
We do, and I got to say
spice
something.
it up for you this morning.
Hey, I got to tell you something. I was looking at some pictures that you were tweeting out and Facebooking of that group of people you're with. Eileen, they are so spiffed up. There's guys in like suits. That woman's in a suit. Everyone's really dressed to the nines out there this morning. I was just wondering, you feel a little outdressed out there by your guests?
A little underdressed? Are you trying to tell me that?
Said
no, because
I
of course,
said
no,
outdressed.
I'm rocking my...
I said outdressed, not underdressed, but...
Fair enough, fair enough. Yeah, I know. I'm with all the senior. They've all got big titles with FEMA, USGS, the National Cathedral, and then you've got, hey, me, the lonely meteorologist from News Channel 8 coming in.
Hey, but you rock that Land's End shell like no one else. Just telling you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Leaner. So much fun.
Good morning, guys. Yeah, it's definitely a big morning here in Northwest D.C. We've been talking all morning about the great shakeout that is happening not only here, but worldwide. And to talk a little bit more about this is Mark Benthian, and he is the Global Shakeout Coordinator. Thank you so much for being here. So what exactly is this shakeout?
Well, it's about that everybody everywhere should practice and learn how to protect themselves during an earthquake. And we have millions of people, nearly 26 million worldwide, holding an earthquake drill this year. And you're practicing drop, cover, and hold on to protect yourself from things that might fall during an earthquake.
Okay, so we're part of the Southeast region. So how can people become involved and actually participate in this global shakeout drill?
So we just want everyone watching to go to shakeout.org, go for the Southeast Shakeout region, and register to participate. Be counted in the world's largest earthquake drill. You'll learn what to do, get all sorts of information, and there's videos, there's all sorts of great things there, and you'll be counted.
That's awesome. So how long does the drill actually take?
We want you to take 1 minute to drop to the ground, cover your head and neck with your arms. If you can, get under a shelter like a table or desk. That's going to protect you from everything that might be falling inside a room. It's really where the injuries happen. Rarely do buildings collapse. And then hold on to what you're under so that you're still sheltered when the earthquake shifts around.
That's some great advice. So shakeout.org is where people should go in order. Mark, thank you so much for joining us this morning. It's a great initiative to really help to prepare people in the event of an earthquake. And again, not something, Brian, that we typically see here on the East Coast. However, I so vividly remember 3 years ago, I was in the doctor's office reading my book, and all of a sudden the picture behind me started rattling, and I'm looking around going, what's going on in the doctor's office behind me? But it turns out it was an earthquake. So good stuff. What were you doing when it happened?
I was in the kitchen with my dad and my son, Tony, and they said, Daddy, what happened? What happened? And I was like, there was a man working on my air conditioner in the basement, and I thought like maybe he blew something up, like, you know, and I was like, we need to go check on this guy in the basement. So yeah, it didn't even register for me. Hey, I want to say two things. One is I saw the picture a little more carefully now, and I think you're wearing a skirt or a dress, so I was out of line earlier.
Yes.
I couldn't see. We're only showing up really high.
Okay.
I didn't get to see your legs earlier, so I didn't know that you were dressed up. So I apologize. And we've been trying to think of all the shake songs. Here's another shake song. Shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it,
shake it like a Polaroid picture. We're listening. So Mark can't hear us, and he's saying what's going on. We're just basically playing all different songs that are shaking out. So this is another way. It's an earworm. It's going to be stuck in your head all day long. So at 10:16, that is when the shakeout is happening. So get your shake on.
As long as you listen to Eileen,
go to shakeout.org.
You'll know what to do. You'll know what to do. Yeah.
We have a lot of fun on this show.
We have to. It's four long hours, baby.